से बजी लेवानो Before taking you through, I would extend my hearty welcome as well introduce to our honorable guests sitting in front rows, foreign delegates, keynote speakers who have to come over the stage and have their conference chairs for the inaugural session. Please, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to introduce our keynote speakers for the conference today. Bangalore, he is still at Bangalore Airport and he has sent us a video, so we will play that video later on. AMDS, Advanced Micro Devices, Senior Technology and Integration Engineer, Germany. Prior to that, he was a member of Scientific Staff, IHP Microelectronics, Frankfurt, Germany. Our next speaker is Mr. Milton. Mr. Milton is faculty of Harare Institute of Technology, Zimbabwe. Now, coming to guest of honors, our guest of honors Dr. Sanjay Patel. Sanjay Patel is sitting on my sitting left. He is PhD from IIT Delhi, MPhil IIT Delhi. Currently working as head of department Chemical Engineering, Nirma University. Our second guest of honor, who is, we have received a message from him that he will be coming by technical session second. He is Dr. A. Prabhakar, advisor, Bujkost, Gujarat Council of Science and Technology. He is currently principal at Vishwakarma Government Engineering College, Chankheda, Ahmedabad. He will be joining us by technical session second. Next is Dr. Mohsin Hussain, who has come down from Bangladesh. He is HOD, Head of Department of Applied Chemistry and Chemical Engineering, Rajshahi University, Bangladesh. He is accompanied with Mr. Sri Chaudhary, a researcher from Rajshahi University, Bangladesh. One of the guests is also on the way. He will be reaching and joining us soon. I will introduce as soon as he comes down to the conference. So, we will start the conference through our ritual ceremony of lighting the lamp, as our culture says. So, the guest of honor. Professor Ashisha is Limca book record holder 5 times for maximum number of degrees and academic qualifications. So I would like to give them a round of applause. So please be seated. And to develop opportunity to employ these wonderful research habits across the nation. See, once we are into research, we get into habit of that and we discover the latest things. So ultimately what we are doing is we are not only providing a platform, but then what we are doing is we are sharing our ideas globally. We are learning ideas. So today we have society for promoting research and scientific innovation through the world and to conduct, promote and organizing international conferences. So basically we are an organization body which is promoting research through one of this activity. We do hold seminars, webinars, and we promote research at different levels. I mean, at institution levels, at individual levels, at corporate levels. And our mission is to provide a platform, an environment which shall foster research and exchange the ideas. I mean, this is one platform where you can ultimately, I mean, you are here just to share your ideas and you share your research. So, our past conference, International Conference on Research and Scientific Innovation Society, that is ICRSI 2013, which was held at the same place, AMA, last year on 22nd of December. Talking about the ICMRP 2014, as I was discussing about the theme multidisciplinary. So, if you can have a look at the presentation, it's written multidisciplinary research has many forms. See, it is a multidisciplinary, that means there are different disciplines and different streams. So, multidisciplinary research has many forms which develop according to the level of integration in the research group. Taking you to the graphical presentation of papers, what we have received in ICMRP 2014. ICMRP received paper submissions from 10 countries, out of which 95 papers have been accepted in conference, corresponding to an acceptance rate of 38%. We regret that we are able to accept more papers than we have. So, one important thing for presenters who have come down, the participants who have come down, that we are in short of time. I mean, we require, I mean, we have allocated particular time limit, a slot for you. So I would request you to adhere the timeline. We have a buzzer here, so buzzer would also allow you, but then you have to keep your presentation and the time limits. This is our International Advisory Board. This International Advisory Board includes professors from IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, Indore, Gandhinagar, Jodhpur. So you must have heard the Green Initiative, Go Green Initiative several times and several pages or several period of your sphere. So what happens is, here talking about the Go Green Save Paper Initiative, here what I mean to say is, see what happens is we do publicize the proceedings manually, I mean the book form. But what happens is, it is again, we cannot send them across the borders, or we cannot distribute in the libraries all over the world. So what happened is, in this conference what we did is, we did the online publishing. So we have, later on I'll show you where we are publishing your research and where you will find your research. So, 1 ton of recycled paper can save 17 trees. As I was telling you, that conference online proceeding for global indexing. So immediate access to resources, well, these are the basically benefits, and I know you must be knowing it. But then just to take you and to make you understand the benefits, the advantages of online proceedings. First is immediate access to resources. So we understand, I mean, we can easily today what we are using is, I mean, Android phone, a tablet, so iPad. So I mean, we can access resources from anywhere. The time has gone when we used to go library, or we read newspapers and all. So it is an immediate access to resources, and virtual libraries are available anytime. No physical boundaries. Yes, if you want to access some content from US libraries, you can have a look on the internet. People from all over the world can access information definitely. I mean, when your research is being publicized online, people from all over the world can access it from anywhere. Can be customized for particular schools, grades, and subjects. Now, these research can also be shared with PhD holder of your doctorate with 2 years of experience. You can join us as a senior member. And moving on, if you again you are doctorate, but then you have more experience. I mean, minimum of 5 years. You can join us as fellow member. So this is kind of membership we are offering for the organization. And the last one is the institutional, basically open for institutional organization body. Monthly newsletter, RSIS newsletter is free for RSIS members, I mean those members who get registered with us. So we are offering them a monthly, quarterly and annually newsletter where you can have latest information about researchers, innovations and updates, upcoming events, what seminars we are conducting, what webinars we are conducting, the locations. So you can, you can have a detail of the activities of organization through RSIS monthly newsletter. Moving on to seminars and webinars. So seminars and webinars, basically we conduct seminars and webinars in different institutions wherein we answer these questions. I mean, these are basic questions which a researcher required to be answered. One is how house for research and scientific innovation, and these are few print and online version forms. So you can share your feedback, you can fill up the feedback form and you can submit it to anybody from the RSIS team. Then there's an idea wall on the right side of me, on the left side of yours, there's an idea wall. So if anybody of you want to share your idea, if you share your query, if you have a query or you have a suggestion for the conference, for the tie-up, for anything. So we have, you are provided with the paper and pen, so you can put up an idea and put it there. Now, one of important part of the conference is the award for participants. So this year, participants, you have to show your, your abilities, your skills, besides the knowledge you have, because we have got 3 different prizes for the participants. So one is the best paper award, second is the best presentation award, and third is the RSIS award, is Research and Scientific Innovation Award. Dr. Professor Daniel Kahneman.
I am sorry that I could not attend the conference, but I have prepared a short video to explain the main elements of participation. I would like first to explain what is Collaborative. It's a large group of individuals with the same physical environment sharing a common goal, and they act in different ways than when they are alone. But the number of people is not the only aspect, because we could have a huge crowd, but we can have also, for example, in a classroom, if you have more than 50 people, it's crowded. Or a swimming pool with all these people is also a crowded environment. And finally, this bus is also crowded.
Since this is a conference on multidisciplinary research, so I thought I'll talk about the research in nanoelectronics. So I am working in the field of nanoelectronics for last 15 years. So I thought I'll tell you about so what is happening in the nanoelectronics field and how the research is multidisciplinary there. So so before going to the nanoelectronics field, you might have heard about the phrase nanoelectronics, nanotechnology. So let me brief that. So the nanoelectronics is nanotechnology applied in the context of electronic circuits and systems. nanotechnology. So nanotechnology is a buzzword now. So nanotechnology is nothing but working at atomic, molecular and supermolecular levels. In the length scale approximately 1 to 100 nanometer range. So that's why we call it nanotechnology, because we are working in these dimensions. So this is in order to understand and create materials, devices and systems with fundamental new properties and functions because of their small structure. So this is nanotechnology. A lot of things are happening now in this area. And nanoelectronics is part of nanotechnology. So nanoelectronics is nothing is nanotechnology, but applied in the context of electronic circuits and systems. So since we are talking about is nanometer. So we told that okay, nanotechnology deals with dimensions from 1 to 100 nanometers. So how big is nanometer? Nanometer is nothing but 10 to the minus 9. So this is 1 billionth of a meter. So this is 1 by 50,000 times the diameter of a human hair. 40% the diameter of DNA molecule. So it's very small. And if you know about silicon atom, so this is a TM picture of a silicon atom. So the atom to atom spacing. So the white dots here are the atoms, right? And the atomic spacing, atom to atom spacing is only 20 angstrom. So it's 0.2 nanometer. So this 1 nanometer is 5 times the interatomic spacing in silicon. This is a DNA molecule. Okay, so to put it in context, so if you look at different dimensions, so you have this the might which is 200 micron, and the end 5 nanometer, but it will go down and down. So here we are mostly in nanotechnology, we are operating the dimensions in this region, and this is very small dimensions, right? Very small dimensions. So let me give you something on nanoelectronics. So I always love to look from the top to down, like from products to devices level. So you might be using a laptop, right? So if you laptop or any mobile phone or smartphone, your smartphone. So if you open that smartphone or your laptop, you will find there is a packaged IC, right? So and this packaged IC, if you unpack it, so you could say packaged IC. If you unpack it, you see a integrated circuit. This is a die, right? If you go down to this die, so you'll have logic circuits, and these are the logic circuits. Then if you go down, so the most basic component will find a semiconductor device which controls the circuits, right? So when we are talking about nanoelectronics, nanotechnology, so we are talking about this transistor. This is the basic component of a circuit, and all the advancement that are seen, like your microprocessor frequency is increasing, your internet speed is increasing, is because of some circuits, and this is because of the improvement in the basic semiconductor device like transistor. Yeah. Frequency of operation is 2 GHz and Core i7 is 2.5, 2.6 GHz. If you use a Core i7 microprocessor, so your speed will faster. You could operate the data at a much faster rate. So how it is possible? This is possible because your transistor gives more current in Core i7 processor compared to Core i5. So this is if you see that. So this how to improve the drive strength of the transistor. There are a lot of innovations involved. So that two things. If you look at the current of a MOS transistor, it depends on the number of electrons plus the electric field. There is term called mobility. So there are a lot of innovations have happened in last 10 years, basically in the last 10 to 15 years. So because of which we have higher current strength coming up, and there are some of the examples. So what we have done is we have already in the nanoelectronics domain, in the transistors, we have used this tensile compressive stresses. These stresses that were applied is gigapascal, right? 2 giga. A lot of research happening, and if you look at the patents in the nanoelectronics, it's growing exponentially every year. The world. So you see how the things are moved and how these innovations happened at different places. And this is how this 2015 to 2019 research, we are talking about 3-5 semiconductor device, carbon nanotubes, nanowires. So there are a lot of research happening in this area. But I hope in future they go into products. So we'll demonstrate that that the devices are working on high level. So this is a picture. This is a 2D